So, Sohale, for our listeners, I want you to share the story of when you left the office.
I knew you were going to this one.
And we finished the month number 1.
First time eligible to be on the leaderboard, and you guys botched my number.
So tell the listeners the story here.
All right. Well, I'm glad to see part of your growth process has been to hire more financial savvy people and numbers people. First time on the leaderboard, or eligible to be in like the running for the bonus. It was Rich Custer had been like leading it. Every month you get it. It's like a $400 bonus. You know, it's a huge, it still is a lot of money, but especially back then I was like, that's a lot of money. And so again, hyper competitive. I am hyper competitive. So I'm there and I'm grinding out through the month, and I got him beat. And he ended up leaving because he went down to North Carolina to visit his family or something. And at that point, I knew I was done. I was over. I'd won it, took it easy in the afternoon. My numbers are ahead of his, and came close to the end of the day. You guys both came over and you're like, hey man, you're over your plan. You crushed it. You were number 1. Way to go. You're welcome to leave. Go start your weekend early. I'm like, sure. Awesome. So I give you guys high fives and I roll out. I'm on Prosperity Avenue, which is a tiny little windy road, 1 lane each way. And I'm driving out. I've got music blaring. I'm figuring out what I'm gonna do for the weekend, because apparently when you're young, you don't have to plan for things. Now I have to plan like 6 months in advance if I want to go out. If I'm driving home and then you guys call me, you're like, hey, I got Marc on speakerphone. Look, don't come back. You don't have to come back. Before you went out and spent the money thinking you already had it, I want to let you know that we ran a percentage and your goal was this and Rich's goal was this. And based on the number, he edged you out by like, I don't know, it was like point some fraction of a percent. So technically he won. Again, don't come back. You don't have to come back. I just want to let you know so you don't go spending money that you don't have. I was so mad. So mad. So mad. Because now it's like past business hours, right? Because I ended up staying, closing out some things, and it was after 5 o'clock. Just like in the middle of the road, highly illegal, driving like a Marylander, just flip a Yui, extremely dangerous, and speed back to the office. I come back in, and you two are like puppies watching their owner come home. You're standing at the window, pounding on the window as I'm running into the Door Avenue office. And I run upstairs like just furious. I throw my headset on. I get on this in Salesforce. I'm like, who am I going to call? Nobody's in the office. So I pull up my West Coast list and like just start dialing. No voicemails, no nothing. If they don't answer on the third ring, I hang up. Third ring, hang up. Third ring, hang up. Finally get somebody on the phone, and I just go in. I'm like, it's whatever. Say whatever I'd say to get the meeting. And you guys are standing there. One of you is behind me. One of you is in, again, the right in front of me was a window to your guys' office, like a fishbowl. And I end up locking the lead down. Yep. And you just start pounding on the glass. I think you're on the other side of the glass. You're pounding on the glass. Marc's slamming me on the shoulders. I'm trying to write down, like, getting this guy secured. I ended up knocking out that lead on a West Coast guy. I think it was like 6:30, 7 o'clock by the time I locked it down. And then that was it. And I never lost after that. I did my best to keep the high spot.